Okay, thank you very much for that introduction. Thank you so much for inviting me here today to talk to you about these very important issues we face in the world today.
네, 여러분 안녕하십니까?
Next slide, please.
오늘 우선 저를 이렇게 좋은 자리에 초청해 주셔서 감사합니다. 오늘 저희 세계가 직면하고
I'm
있는
going to
위협
talk to you
상황에 대해
about
말씀드리겠습니다.
three key things today. The first is the state of the global security market, particularly in relation to manned security services, and look at some of the underpinning factors which are driving demand for that. The second aspect I'm going to talk about is the growing threat of terrorism, and talk in particular about the terrible incident in Westminster that happened a couple of weeks ago in the UK. And third, I'm going to set the context for the foundation of the Security Industry Authority and the important standards that's set in terms of close protection, which is so important to what we're talking about today. So first of all, the global security market. The first thing to note is that it is incredibly difficult to identify the size of that market. There are lots of different reports out there of varying quality. But the reports that I've looked at, the most accurate, that I think estimate the manned securities market is worth 244 billion US dollars across the world, with the biggest markets in America and growing opportunities in Asia and other developing countries. So what is driving the growth of private security across the world? Well, the first and most important thing we've got to note is the perception of the fear of crime. Not necessarily the actual risk, because in many industrial countries crime is actually falling. The perception's still very much the same. And set against that, we have in many countries the public sector, particularly in terms of the police, which don't have enough resources to satisfy the demand for security that people actually want. Underpinning that growth, I think it's very important to note the global growth in middle classes. The graph there, you will see the middle line, that illustrates the growth of middle classes across the world over the next 15 years. And as you will see, in China, by 2030, there could be 1 billion middle-class individuals. And this is very important, and I'll come to that later, why this growth is an important factor in fueling the growth of private security. The other factors fueling growth, a very important one, is greater urbanisation and the growth of mass private property. In many countries around the world, we're seeing more shopping malls, railway stations, airports. These are large private space which, because of the very status, tends to be guarded by private security rather than the police as the primary agents. So that is also fueling the demand for more private security. And then the other factor, which is also having a significant influence on the growth of security, is terrorism. And in particular, the rise of extremist Islamic terrorism. And I'm going to talk about some of those incidents shortly, but what's particularly troubling has been the changing tactics to target mass civilians in places traditionally that we would see as safe, shopping malls, even universities. So this is also fueling greater demand for private security across the world. So let's just look at one example, one terrible example, the attack on Westminster Parliament 2 weeks ago in the UK. So first animation. You'll see on that picture how the terrorist attack occurred. The first thing to note, it lasted 82 seconds, a very, very short period of time, but in that time 4 people were killed and over 40 injured, including 5 South Koreans. And you'll see on that slide, the very first one, that the terrorist drove the car over the bridge, running down individuals. He was driving at 50 miles an hour, then crashed into the gates, and then ran around into the parliamentary gate and killed the police officer. stabbed him. You'll see from that gate entrance that there's no special security measures. That gate, as someone who's visited Parliament many times, I've always seen as a weakness, because particularly the police officers were not armed on that gate. Luckily, there were the close protection officers, the bodyguards of the Defence Secretary in the vicinity, and they saw what was happening and shot the terrorists dead. Now, it's very lucky, because if he had got past those officers, he would have got into Parliament and he could have killed lots of people. His weapon was that knife, just a simple knife like that, and the final piece of animation, please. A car, a 4x4 car. Obviously anybody can get hold of those, and it highlights the risk of terrorism. And the attacker was Mahmoud Hussein. He was originally called, with an English name, converted to Islam, and had, it seems that he had no clear links with ISIS. He was inspired, what we would call a lone wolf terrorist, by the IS websites, etc., that you can get online. I just want to put that in context of some of the other major attacks that have occurred in the last 3 years, just to illustrate how civilian casualties and targets are becoming the norm. The top 3 on that list, Westminster, Berlin and Nice, all involved vehicles as the principal weapon of the terrorists. And then we have Brussels, which was a bomb. We have Suez and Garissa in Kenya, Paris and Nairobi, which were all gun attacks with roving gunmen shooting civilians en masse. So I've just put up some of the pictures there of some of the targets. At the top corner we have a beach, that was Suez in Tunisia. People lying on the beach being shot by the terrorists. We have the university in Kenya. We have a shopping mall, and we have an airport. These are the areas of mass private property, largely guarded by private security, that are increasingly becoming the targets of terrorists. So this is obviously terrible for society, but it does create huge opportunities for the private security sector. This growth in terrorism, the growth in the middle classes, all fuel the need for better, higher quality private security, particularly close protection officers and security guards. And it's in this context that in the UK we have sought to try and professionalise the private security sector. Now, I've done a lot of work for the United Nations on developing standards for countries in terms of regulating private security, and the UK system has some very, very good basics in terms of the licensing divisions and the standards which are linked to those licenses. So we have distinct licenses. One of them is the close protection license, and that has gained an international reputation because of the training standard which is linked to it. And I'm not going to talk in depth about that because I know the other speakers are going to cover that, but I think that context is important. This is an internationally recognised, unique qualification which is very, very useful in terms of the context that I've described today, to professionalise security, to protect us in a much better way. Thank you.
네, 마크 버튼 교수님 프레젠테이션 잘 들었습니다. 감사합니다.